Good afternoon. Technician Editor John Wallace here. I am excited to be with you today as we learn more about the tool of the trade featured in the December issue of Technation, Pressure Max PM-1 digital pressure meter from Pronk Technologies. Thank you to today's sponsor, Pronk Technologies. Pronk Technologies' mission is to provide innovative products to refine and streamline the biomedical maintenance and support process. Biomeds in the field need equipment that is portable, affordable, rugged, reliable, and easy to use. Pronk designs and manufactures specialized diagnostic tools that are tailored to the needs. Pronk's innovative designs have been granted 17 patents worldwide. For more information, please visit pronktech.com. Now, in today's Tool of the Trade live demo, we will learn about a biomedical test equipment first. The Pressure Max PM-1 digital pressure meter is the smallest, most versatile, and accurate multi-channel pressure meter designed with the range and accuracy to test virtually any type of medical device. Capable of positive and negative pressure measurements for gas and fluids, providing extreme performance and accuracy. The palm-sized Pressure Max fits in a shirt pocket and operates on batteries. It is the only pressure meter verified to operate after 50 drops from 3 feet and is backed by Pronk's industry-leading 4-year warranty. There are some handouts in the webinar dashboard, and I'm sharing a link to a video with attendees via the chat feature right now. Bear with me, it's coming. So there's your video link for some more information. You can check that out after today's live demonstration. Now, before we begin, I want to remind attendees that today's presentation is eligible for 1 CE credit from ACI. 1 hour after the end of today's broadcast, you will receive an emailed survey. Completing that survey will grant you access to a certificate that you can download and print from your desktop. We will wrap up today's broadcast with a Q&A. Please note that the webinar dashboard includes a question feature. You can submit your questions to our presenter at any time during the demo, and we will read those during the Q&A session. Now, I am excited to share that Pronk Technologies is going to be giving away an iPad to one lucky attendee during the live demo today. So make sure you stay tuned in and pay attention to find out if you are the lucky winner. Today's presenter is Julio Castro, a regional sales director for Pronk Technologies. Julio, among other responsibilities, travels to biomedical associations nationwide, presenting technical and educational information to the biomedical engineering community. Julio, you may begin whenever you are ready.
Thank you very much, John, and thank you, TechNation, for hosting this event and doing everything that you do to support the HTM community. We all appreciate that very much. I want to thank everyone for attending today. I'm sure you have a busy busy Thursday, so really do appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to spend some time with us going over this exciting new product that we're just introducing into the marketplace. It's Pressure Max digital pressure meter. It's got some really unique features we want to go through. Pressure Max was really designed in a partnership with the HTM biomed community as far as early as the design phase. So we got a lot of good, important customers involved in the design phase of the product, including the testing phase, pre-production, trying to make sure that the design of the product, the features that it has, will meet the needs of the marketplace. And we got a lot of great feedback. And really what initiated the need to design a product like this is the gap there is in the marketplace with pressure meters. Today, you have a lot of needs for pressure meters that have the range that you need for various medical devices, but also that has the precision, the accuracy that you need to make sure you're doing that service according to the manufacturer's specifications when you're doing that calibration adjustment. So oftentimes in the HTM community, you have to buy multiple pressure meters. A pressure meter that has X range possibly, maybe a different meter that's got a narrower range, but with better accuracy, so that you can utilize it according to the manufacturer's requirements. Well, Pressure Max is designed to solve this by being a multi-channel pressure meter that gives us the great range and accuracy we need all in one package. You can see here, it's a very, very small compact device, fits in your shirt pocket, operates on 2 AA batteries, and it runs for about 30 hours continuously in use. The unit does work off of an external 6-volt DC power supply as well, if you want to go ahead and plug it in and utilize it for long-term testing. So it's very, very, very compact. You can see there's multiple ports designed into the unit. You have what we refer to as the narrow port, and you have the wide port. And we designed it with the appropriate connectors on there so that you can manage and handle high pressure connections with this high pressure port, and also quick disconnect for your narrower range pressures. The unit also has the ability to do differential pressures. And so that's really can be beneficial if you're testing devices that you need to measure differential pressures with. You can utilize this to also measure differential pressures. And it measures differential pressures between the high port to the differential port, which you'll see here in the center is the differential port, or also between the narrow port and the differential port. You can utilize it to measure differential pressures. The other thing that's a big issue in the marketplace is having the ability to test fluids. A lot of pressure meters are available, they're great, but oftentimes you're not able to utilize them for testing fluids. Well, we've designed into the wide port here the ability to test fluids or gas or air, and we have incorporated a thumb screw here so that you can bleed out the fluids, bleed out the air bubbles, so that you can be sure to get accurate pressure measurements, and of course drain fluids when you're doing your testing. So it's a really great benefit being able to test fluids along with regular air pressure on devices, because we know that's a common need. So you're able to do that with the wide port. The unit has the 2 different ports have wide different capabilities. So you have the wide port here, which is able to measure from -14 psi all the way up to 100 psi, but you're not going to sacrifice accuracy. The unit provides up to a 1% accuracy for all of the readings. So it doesn't matter what your test point is, your result will be within 1% of that test point you're testing at. So great range, and you're able to get very good readings, very precise readings on that port. But we also designed it with what we refer to as the narrow port, and that has a range of -300 to +400 millimeters of mercury, and that has an accuracy of up to 0.2% of the reading. So less than 1%, 0.2% of the reading, you can get each and every test point within that result, and so it provides very, very high precision readings. So you're not having to sacrifice performance by having a multi-channel device. You can get the accuracy that you need between those 2 ports very, very, very well. The unit also is able to measure you can select between 11 different units to measure. So there's no sacrificing the kind of unit of measure you want to utilize. You could just program it on the front of the unit here, just turn on the power button here to enable it. The unit will turn on, and I can select from the units button here 11 different units to measure to select my right unit to measure to do my test. So you can see here, it also comes with a camera mount on the back. So if you want to mount it to a bench, medical device you're testing it to, you can utilize the optional clamp option to mount it, so that's easy to kind of use it in the field. So it really is a big benefit to do it that way. As John mentioned, we pride ourselves in designing products that are very robust, very durable. This product, along with all of our products, are designed such that they have to pass being able to be dropped 50 times from 3 feet onto the surface, onto the hard surface, and still operate, not only just operate, but operate within specifications. So having this unit drop tested is an important aspect before we go to market. So this unit has been drop tested 50 times to make sure it's still operational. And that video is on our website if you want to check it out and take a look at it. So we really designed it to be very robust. And part of the reason it's robust, not only in the mechanical design, but this housing here is not just simple plastic. It is a polycarbonate, similar material they make bulletproof glass out of airplane windshields. So it's very, very robust polycarbonate. So so it's not just a simple plastic type housing. We make it clear and see-through because we're technical people. We like to kind of see the electronics going on inside of it. So we're kind of tech geeks at heart, so we always kind of make everything see-through. So it's really designed to be really the last pressure meter you need to purchase or consider utilizing, because it has all of the features that you need to be able to utilize it for narrow port, wide port, fluids, air, anything you need to utilize it for. You can utilize pressure cranks for that purpose. So that's kind of a general overview of the device. What we want to do now is take a closer look at it and go over some of its key features. So we're going to get a little comfortable here and talk about what it's capable of. So just a quick overview here of the screen and the overview of the unit itself. You see here you have the yellow button, which is the power on, power off the unit. It's also utilized to zero the pressure transducer. So if you simply just tap on it, you can just zero out the pressure transducer to do that. You can also have a navigation button here. You can click this button to select the units of measure. Also can use it to access the menu, which we'll go into more detail here. You have a timer button. The unit is built with a digital timer, so you can utilize it if you're needing to do some leakage tests where you need to do a time test. To do that leakage test, you can simply press this button here. The timer in the upper left will turn on, and it will start capturing the elapsed time since we started the test. The unit also, if you want to stop the timer, you can just simply press the button here to stop the timer, and you can press it again to reset it back to zero. So it's a nice feature for doing leak tests or time tests where you want to know how long did it take to, what was that leak rate at that particular pressure. In the center here, in the middle of the screen at the top, you're able to also capture peak pressure. So I'll demonstrate that for you in a moment. So the unit can capture peak pressure, and so you can capture that. The top right is the power indicator. So if you're running on batteries or the external 6-volt DC power supply, it'll indicate to you what your power status happens to be. And then below that, you have your measurement, your pressure measurement in units, and the unit is able to measure with very high precision and very high resolution. So the narrow port, depending on the pressure unit that you select, can be down up to 4 decimal points. And PSI as an example, it's 3 decimal points. The wide port is 2 decimal points for PSI. So very, very high resolution. So you have this button here that's also called target, which we'll go into in just a moment here about setting targets and what that means. So you're able to really program the unit to have specific pressure targets that you want to utilize. And you can define the pass-fail range of those targets, which can be really helpful, and we'll demonstrate that for you. So to utilize it is very straightforward. Let's go ahead and just connect something to the narrow port so we can test that for you real quick, show you how that works. And of course, utilizing a pressure adjustment here, I can just apply some pressure to it, and just like any pressure meter, I'm going to get a measurement. And so it's pretty straightforward. It's very responsive. You can get pressure measurements very precise. The unit has been tested and has very good seals, so you're not going to have the issue of having to keep tuning it because you have slight leaks in the system. It's designed with an aluminum housing, the manifold is, with high grade enclosures and O-rings to ensure you have a solid seal so you don't have drift issues with your pressure measurements, because that only slows you down when you're trying to calibrate something if your pressure is always drifting because you have a small little leak in the system. You want to change the unit to measure, you simply press and hold you click on it to change the unit of measure, and you can see here I can toggle between inches of water, centimeters of water, kPa, atmospheric, inches of mercury, bar absolute, bar gauge, millibar absolute, millibar gauge, millimeters of mercury, and back to PSI. So you can select from all those different units of measure. Makes it real robust. So we talked, I mentioned targets. So targets, let me show you what that is. You're able to program targets onto the unit. And if I hit this target button, I have some targets programmed in there, and it will allow you to see what that pressure target is here at the bottom. So you see the little target symbol, and you see it says 150. That's my target for a particular target setting I had created, and it's in millimeters of mercury. So what that really allows me to do is as I'm inflating the medical device and I'm trying to confirm I've reached that target, the unit will illuminate blue while you're below the target pressure that you programmed. But once I get within the tolerance that I programmed, and in my case, I programmed it so that it needed to be within 1 millimeter of mercury, when I get to that pressure target, the unit will turn green. So I went over the target, and you can see here that it turns red. So whenever you're over the target, it will turn red. Whenever you're below the target, it's blue. And when you're in target, it illuminates green. So it's a nice feature in that if you're working with some equipment where you're not able to always be in front of the display and confirm you're within tolerance, the unit will glow the appropriate color to let you know you're in or you're out of target. So it can be really useful. It's a nice feature that was really input we got from the field to try to help aid in knowing that the result is within the target pressure that was designed. So you can program into the unit 5 different pressure targets on there, and I can select them from here. So if I tap on this button again, you'll see I've now selected a different pressure target, and my target pressure there is 1.75, I should say, in the unit of measures in PSI. So clearly the unit is illuminating red because I'm over the target, and if I adjust my pressure down to get within range, then my pressure will go and illuminate green when I'm within that target. For this particular target, I believe I programmed it for plus or minus 0.25 as my tolerance. So you have full control over the target and the tolerance that you want to program, have that pass fail defined on the unit, again, saving you time and ease of use, verify your pressure is within the target. You also hear a beeping sound. That's an audible tone. You can enable or disable. It's just an audible confirmation that your result is within tolerance. Again, if I go over it with the tone on, you'll hear a different tone letting you know you're over the target. And when you're below the target, it is no audible tone at all. So a nice indicator for you there to know whether your pressures are within the target or not. And you can program these on the unit, which is really nice. So if I press and hold this button here, I can now go into my target menu and create and edit target pressures. So you can see here at the very top, I'm editing target number 2, and I can edit those values. I can just scroll down using the up and down arrow keys that correspond to the soft key, which would be these keys here. I could change my unit of measure by highlighting it, and then up, down to change the unit of measure. So I could pick a different unit of measure if I wanted to. And then I could also confirm and program the actual target pressure. So if I want to change that target pressure, I can just scroll up. I can hold it down so it'll advance much quicker. And I can also edit the target tolerance. So here I could change that target tolerance to whatever value I need to save those targets. So really easy to program on board the unit, target pressures with target tolerances. And as I mentioned, you can have up to 5 targets saved onto the unit. Once you've programmed them and you've saved them, you simply hit save to save that. So once you have go back to the main screen and you have targets illuminated here, that's when the unit activates and confirms for you whether that pressure is within the target. If you don't want to utilize the target, then you could just scroll until the target key disappears, the target symbol disappears, and now you could just utilize it to measure pressure and anything you want. So that's a basic way on how you would utilize the product. You can see here at the top, I captured a peak pressure here that's being illuminated there at the top, so that stays and locks in there. I could choose to zero that pressure if I want to by just I'll open up the atmospheric pressure, and I could press and hold the timer button and just zero out that target, that peak pressure, I should say. So it's really easy to use that narrow port for measuring pressure. Now the white port, as I mentioned, has a high pressure connector on it. So we include with our unit a set of accessories you'll need to be able to utilize it, including a high pressure connector here. So we can be sure to measure pressure properly and safely. So we'll just do a quick check on that real quick. It locks right in there, so it's not going to come loose during a pressure measurement. So I'm going to connect this over here. And And if we want to measure pressure here on the whiteboard, you can, of course, pressurize it as high as you'd like, up to 100 PSI. So we're just going to go up to about 15 PSI here. And we're able to see pressure, like I said, in resolution of 0.01 resolution in PSI. So still very precise, very high pressure measurements you can make with the wide port as well. And if I ever needed to bleed the fluid out of there, or you want to bleed the air down, no need to disconnect. You could just bleed it from here and use it to tune the pressure if you wanted to, or just reset it back to atmospheric. And then you can pressurize it again to do that. So I can open it back up. I'll open it back up. I'll go ahead and close it again, and then I can repressurize the system and take another measurement. So it really is useful and makes it easy to make those pressure measurements, but having that thumb screw there to do the bleeding to make sure that you're within the range that you want to be within. The other thing that's helpful is oftentimes with pressure meters, you need to be able to utilize it for the units of measure you test with. And maybe you don't necessarily need to have 11 different units to measure. You're only really utilizing 2. So instead of having to kind of scroll through the different units of measure, you can save time by just programming what units of measure you want to be displayed. And you can do that by going into the menu, which you can get to it by hitting this button and holding it. So hitting this button and holding it will activate some features here we'll go over. You have the ability to trend pressures up to 15 minutes. Shows you pressure at 1-minute intervals. And you can also access the targets here as well, but you can also customize your units. So if I go to units, hit the enter key here, you'll see all the units of measure that you have selected will have a little checkbox here on the left. So if you know you don't want to utilize all those types of units of measure, maybe you only need to utilize 2, you can simply highlight them, uncheck them, so that you're basically deselecting them from the visible menu on the main screen. So I'm going to go ahead and just turn these off, and you can see all the units of measure that are available. We're going to just turn these off. I'm going to save it. And now I only will have the option to toggle between millimeters of mercury and PSI and nothing else. So it's a simple feature, but it was a suggestion from one of our customers that we're partnering with to do the design of the product. Like, can you do it? Can you set it up so that I can edit my units of measure and I don't have to keep going and selecting them? So you can even just have 1 unit of measure. You could have 2, anything from 11 on down. Just select your units of measure, and then you're just toggling between those 2 values. So really try to customize and give the user flexibility to be able to make those customization they want on the unit. So we mentioned that you can edit the targets here. There's a trend function here, which will get enabled as soon as I start and go into the trend function here. So as time goes on, you'll see that the pressure measurements will increment and be displayed here in 1-minute intervals, so that you can trend maybe changes in pressure for the last 15 minutes to be able to see those values. So we'll come back to that in a moment. So Pressure Max, again, is able to do a wide range of pressures with great accuracy, be able to test any kind of device you want. So it really is a useful tool in that sense, and you can utilize it to measure virtually any type of medical device. So I think you'll find it to be very helpful out there in the field when you're out there doing your work each and every day. So one other feature we've included with the Pressure Max is a feature we call Mobilize. That is a wireless Bluetooth technology that we have that is designed so that you can utilize it with our app. So we've designed an app some of you may be familiar with that is there so that you can connect your Pronk test equipment to your app that runs on Apple iOS. So we're able to pair our Pressure Max via Bluetooth to our Mobilize app so that we can control it, we can utilize it to run tests and capture the data and be part of an electronic report. So just a quick overview of the app itself. You have the ability to customize the header information here at the top in the setup menu. You can enter in an asset ID, or you can use the scan function to scan the barcode on the medical device to enter that asset ID into the report. And then you have the ability to pick a sequence of protocols that you've designed under the app itself. So I'm going to go ahead and enter in an asset ID here that will create, and I'm just going to select Pressure Max here so you can kind of see how this would work. So the way it's set up, and I'll go ahead and release the pressure so we can start from the beginning, is you have a menu option here which you can utilize to do a leak rate test if you need to. You could do a pressure accuracy test if you're checking pressure, verification of pressure, you're doing a calibration of adjustment. I could zero the pressure transducer from the Pressure Max from here. And I can also change the units of measure from here as well. So if I want to do it in a different unit of measure, you'll see here on the left, the unit of measure changes. So I'm able to select any unit of measure I want. So I'm going to go ahead and just select millimeters of mercury. So I am in control of the Pressure Max from the Mobilize app, and I'm able to do some tests. So let's just say we want to do a pressure test. I'm going to go ahead and close this again. And I'm going to just pressurize it a little bit so we can get a number. And let's just say I need to calibrate something. I need to make sure it's at 200 millimeters of mercury. I can adjust the pressure there so we can make sure it's tuned on the medical device. Then on the medical device itself, I can go and confirm the results. And when I want to enter the result into the system, you just tap here, look at the device you're servicing, capture that result into your report. So when you do go to the capture screen, you'll be able to see the pressure accuracy for the PM Pressure Max, what its pressure point was at 200 millimeters of mercury. You have the device under test, which is that value we entered in. It measured at 201. The delta between those 2 points was plus or minus 1 millimeter. And depending on your device, pass or fail it and go on. So you're able to do a pressure test here. If you have a device that has multiple pressure calibration test points, you can simply do more. It will give you the option, do you want to replace the result you had last time? Or do you want to, let me make sure I didn't lose connection here. Okay, sorry, I just want to make sure we didn't lose connection. Everyone can still hear me, right? Okay. So we want to go ahead and run a new test, or you can delete the test. We're just going to go ahead and run a second test. And the second test allows us just to inflate maybe to a different pressure point and make sure that our second test point is within our calibration as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and inflate to 275 and make sure we're within that test point. So we're going to go ahead and turn this just a little bit more. And then on the medical device, of course, again, you capture that result to make sure it's within tolerance. So here, I'm able to do all the work I need to, utilizing the Pressure Max and capturing that data into the report itself. Once, if I wanted to do a leak test, let's say I want to do a leak test, I go over to leak rate. I can inflate to the particular pressure I want, and then you can start the leak test here. So once you know your pressure is stabilized in the Pressure Max, a medical device, you have it connected, you can start the test here to start measuring a leak rate. So of course I don't have a medical device connected for the purposes of the demonstration, and because the Pressure Max virtually doesn't have any leak, you'll see that it really is not going to detect anything. So I'm going to intentionally lower the pressure a little bit, just so you can kind of see the timer and how it works in detecting changes in pressure. So as the pressure drops, it starts calculating the leak rate based on the elapsed time. So you could run this time test as long as you want. You could run it for 30 seconds, a minute, up to 5-10 minutes, however long you want to run the test. So the leak rate is consistently being updated as the pressure changes. So I had lowered the pressure a little bit, and you could see the leak rate appeared, and the leak rate is going to start dropping because the pressure is stable, so the leak rate is reduced over the elapsed time of the test. So if the pressure stays stable and time is increasing, my leak rate starts to go down. Once I'm done with that leak test at whatever interval you need to test to, you can hit capture button, and you'll see here the leak result, and you're able to see that the leak at 1 minute was 3 millimeters of mercury per minute. Let's say you didn't want to capture the result at the 1 minute mark, you needed to capture it sooner, then you could tap on the black bar here and it will change the interval at which it displays the results and you could capture that result. So you could keep tapping it and toggle between 30 seconds, 1 minute, 1 minute and a half, 2 minutes. You decide the interval you want to capture that pressure at and capture it into the report. So we're going to capture the 1 minute result, and it's all on there. So it really is a great way to utilize the pressure max when you're testing medical devices and capture your results without having to write anything down. So once I'm done, it's giving me the option, do I want to save any setting changes that I made? And you can do that and save it as a new test protocol if you'd like. I'm just going to go ahead and hit no, takes you to the report. We just did a basic test here. So at the top, you have your header information of what our facility, our organization is. You have the test equipment that was utilized, not only the test equipment, but the serial number and the date the test equipment was calibrated, which is very important. You want to know when was the test equipment calibrated, so why not have it on the report? So that's important information to have on there. And then on the far left here, you can see all the test points that we tested with the results and the deltas that we saw. So the app can be very, very useful. If I need to take an image of something, maybe I want to add an image of the device I tested in the report, you can tap on the little camera symbol here at the bottom, activates the camera, and I can simply take a picture of the device I'm testing, add it to the report, and then when you generate a PDF, that image would appear as part of the report. So you can take as many images as you'd like, so you can capture all your information on there. If you want to add notes into the report, you can do that here as well. You can tap on this field and enter in notes. Or if you're like me and you want to save a little time, I can just turn on the microphone. Unit pass call test, ready to return to service. And I can capture that and put it on the report. So it's just an easy way so you can document things in the most efficient way possible without having to worry about doing this manually. You can share them as a PDF, you can email them, you can print them. We have numerous CMMS connectivity methods to connect this data to your CMMS system as well. So that integration capabilities into CMMS is definitely something that the app does support as well. So you can definitely connect this and have all your data transferred electronically into your work orders. Another feature kind of tied to this that we've done is we incorporated a connectivity to a Bluetooth printer. So this is a commercially available Bluetooth printer. It's a company called Brother, you're probably pretty familiar with it. They make nice portable printers, and this one actually runs off of a lithium battery, and it has Bluetooth capabilities. So we work with this company to incorporate a driver to communicate to our app with. So you can actually go to PM sticker here at the bottom. You'll be able to see a sample of a PM sticker you could possibly print. Or if I needed to modify it, I can go here and modify any of these fields that I want to have the information that I want to on those fields. I can also decide what fields will be enabled and print on the PM sticker. I can change the PM interval. I'm going to go ahead and change it to 12 months. And you can change the date format as well. So if you have special date formats you prefer to use, you can just tap on the date format and pick the date format you want to print on the label. The app supports two different kinds of Brother printers. This one utilizes a 24mm cartridge, label width cartridge, but they also support a second Brother printer. It's also Bluetooth that allows the user to select the length, the width of the tape they would like. So that's why you see those other options there. And I can save these settings, and then I can simply just print out that PM sticker onto the label maker. So it's a really useful label maker. We know that printing out PM stickers is yet another thing to do. And for those of you having to manually fill it out, this will save you the time. But also the label is laminated, so the ink is below the laminate that goes over it to protect it from any cleaning that has to happen on the medical device. And of course, on the back, it's got adhesive. You can just attach it to the medical device, and you got a PM sticker. So Pressure Max in itself is very useful, very versatile product. But also now you have the ability to connect it to your Apple device and generate electronic reports. So this product is also able to connect to our other products, Pronk Mobilize products. So it is part of the family of products that we have that all can be mobilized together. So we have electrical safety analyzer that you can connect to the Mobilize app. You have our SimCube SC5 simulator that can be connected to the app as well. The Oxen Flex product can also be connected to the app, and our FlowTrax infusion pump analyzer. So you can connect all of these devices, including the pressure max. You choose the device you need to utilize for that particular PM. Maybe you're doing an SCD ventilator, you need to utilize a flow meter, a FlowTrax, and a safety simulator, electrical safety analyzer to do electrical safety testing. Maybe you need to do some pressure testing with pressure max. And so you can connect those devices to it. Utilize only those devices you need to do that PM and generate an electronic report. So the beauty of our low energy Bluetooth is you're able to connect all of these devices, the printer, all of the Pronk Mobilize devices to the app simultaneously without any risk of loss of communication. The other benefit of the Mobilize app is it's an open platform. So you can utilize it with other brand test equipment. We've worked with a number of great test equipment companies out there, and we've integrated defib capabilities of their test equipment into our app. We've added a ventilator tester app, connectivity to our app as well. So the app is designed to give you the flexibility, functionality of connecting whatever test equipment you need to utilize, and utilize only that equipment you need to, all wirelessly. No need to connect things with cables to your Mobilize app. Everything is wireless. So as I mentioned, depending on the medical devices you need to service, you just pick the Mobilize devices you need to utilize, pair them to the app, have them execute the test, generate an electronic report, and you'll be good to go. So the Mobilize app is available. We are introducing Pressure Max integration into the Mobilize app at the beginning of 2024, so that's coming very soon. We're adding that product to the family of Mobilize products capable of connecting to. So I think you'll find it to be very useful not only as a standalone product, but with the Mobilize feature, being able to connect it and generate electronic reports can be a really big plus. So the unit will come with its own carrying case. It's got a kind of semi-rigid carrying case. And so the unit, the products will fit right in there, and we will include the power supply, of course. You have your various kinds of adapters so that you can connect to the wide range of medical devices you have out there. You know you have to kind of generate your adapter cable and adapter tubing so they can connect to the medical devices that you're testing. And you also have a pocket here at the top where you have your tubing, your high pressure tubing, your low pressure tubing that can fit in here so that you're not able to really able to store all your units without having to worry about losing anything. So it all fits in here. You have this stored in here safely so you don't have any damage to it. And the product is a great addition to the BMedPack Pro if that's something you want to consider adding as part of the bundle of our products, to add that into your package of your test equipment so you have everything you need when you're out there doing testing, health and safety. So again, in closing, the Pressure Max is available for sale, and we are really looking forward to having it introduced into the marketplace. We think it'll be a valuable tool for our customers, for you at HTM and Biomeds out in the field, to utilize it for any kind of medical device you need to service, and it's available for sale now. If you would like a demonstration, definitely get in contact with us directly or via our website. We're happy to come out also to do a demonstration of the product, have you test it out, do a trial run of it, see how it could benefit you in your tool bag to utilize it, and make sure that you have every tool that you need when you need it with precision and accuracy that you need to feel confident you're servicing the medical device within specifications per the manufacturer's requirements. So I want to thank you all again for attending, and we want to open it up here to any questions you may have, and take care of a couple things. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Julio. We did have some questions come in, but before we do that real quick, how about we give away an iPad?
Okay, that sounds great.
So let's just do it randomly, and you tell me a number between 1 and 200, and we'll announce who the lucky winner is.
Okay, no pressure for me, I suppose. let's go with number 105. And we'll look up
105. Let me look real quick and see what the number is. All right. Looks like according to our sign-in sheets, the winner is going to be Jody Butler of Memorial Hospital of Sweetwater County and Rock Spring, Wyoming. Congratulations, Jody Butler. We will follow up and get his shipping information so we can get that iPad out to him. Now, we did have some questions come in for you. Will the Pressure Max retain all the customized settings when the battery is depleted?
Yes, that's a great question. The unit has onboard memory that stores any of the user configurable settings. So those will be retained on the unit even when they replace the batteries, where the batteries get depleted. It's got an internal storage with a backup battery. So all of those customized settings will be saved on the unit itself. So you will not lose those.
Great. And then I think you may have covered this, but another question we had is, what is the warranty of the Pressure Max?
Yeah, warranty is really important, of course, when you invest in any type of test equipment, particularly biomedical test equipment, which we know has, you're using it a lot, you're going in and out of your cars, and it needs to be very robust and durable, because when you need it, especially if you're a traveling biomed. The last thing you want is to have a piece of test equipment fail when you're traveling to go do some work. And so because of the design of it, because of the fact that we've certified that it can pass being dropped 50 times from 3 feet, we feel really confident in providing and standing behind a 4-year warranty of this product. And we feel that it'll be very robust, very high reliability, just like our other devices. And that's why we are confidently able to provide a 4-year warranty for it.
Great. Another question that came in was, can I test ventilators and anesthesia systems with this device?
Yes, great question. There are a wide range of medical devices, of course, and that's why we designed it with multiple ports. We'll be able to utilize it with multiple applications, including the differential pressure port. So yes, you can use it on virtually any kind of medical device, be it an infusion device, a ventilator, an SCD, sequential compression device, anything and everything, even if it's fluid, air. You can just utilize the wide port or the narrow port for air. The wide port is for fluids and air for testing any of those types of medical devices.
Okay. And then someone else asked, can this device test pressure from the medical gas outlets coming from the wall?
Yes, the wide port does support measuring fluids or gas. So you can utilize that port for measuring anything coming out of the wall up to 100 psi.
And then someone else asked, does it come with the tuner and pump and the narrow and wide connectors?
It comes with the adapters for the wide port and the narrow port, the connectors you need to fit onto the unit itself. It comes with a bag of accessory adapters, as I mentioned earlier, that allows you to adapt it to various kinds of sizes depending on your application. We are working on a hand adjustable pump, but that's not available just yet.
All right. And then someone asked, how do you pair the pressure tester to an iPad or iPhone?
Yeah, so on the next release of our Mobilize app, you'll see it and have it available to do that by going into the setup menu. You'll see a section here that's device connections. And on the next release that will be available coming early next year, you'll see another new device called Pressure Max there. And when Pressure Max appears, you'll be able to pair to it like you do our other devices. You would see devices available to pair here in the center. You would tap on it. If you happen to have more than one Pressure Max, you would select which one you want to pair to, and then you simply pair to it. So this allows you to connect the Pressure Max or any device to the app. While you have it paired, you have full control of that device. No one else can pair to it or utilize it. You are in full control of it until you choose to unpair or you choose to shut the app down. But that's how you go about pairing Pressure Max to the app.
And
Great question.
you'll have, yeah, there's a couple more. This one, I don't have a medical background or biomed background, so forgive me if this isn't a good question, but I was always told there's no bad questions. Does it display barometric pressure?
Yes, barometric pressure. You have, that's a good question. I'm going to have to double check that. I know we have bar absolute and bar gauge, but I think barometric is different. That's a good question. I'm going to need to confirm.
Okay. And then someone asked if there's a time frame for general release of an Android port for Mobilize.
Yeah, Android is something that is still on our priority list. Honestly, the challenge has been for us is we keep adding new devices, and the demand for iOS features has been so high because that's the most common platform that's utilized in healthcare because it's a little bit more of a closed system. It's more secure than Android. So we're trying to lock ourselves down to not adding any more features to the Mobilize so we can switch and focus onto the Android apps. So that's still in our plans for 2024, but I don't have an exact release date on it yet. But it's something that is on our list that we definitely will get done. As I mentioned, we're adding a lot of features to it. We're adding other brand test equipment to the platform. So we're trying to get to a point where we're like, okay, we think we're ready to kind of lock in the iOS app to a certain degree and then get the Android app up and running and released.
Sounds good. Well, Julio, that's all the questions I have right now. If any more come in, we'll be sure to email those over to you so you can get in touch with the person if they have any questions. In closing, I want to thank you, Julio, for your time today. And that was a great presentation. I'd like to encourage everyone to visit today's sponsor to learn more about the products they provide to the industry. Visit pronktech.com. That's PRONKTECH.com. Now, a quick reminder that you can obtain your your CE certificate by completing the post-webinar survey. The survey will be emailed to you in 1 hour. You must complete the survey to receive your 1 CE credit from the ACI. And you will be able to download the certificate directly from your computer once the survey is submitted. If you have any questions, you can reach out to us through email at webinar@mdpublishing.com. Thank you, everyone. We will be back next month with another Tools of the Trade live demo. Visit webinarwednesday.live for more details and complimentary registration. Go have a great day.